It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast. And I've spoken to some of your colleagues earlier, and then I've been told that this is one great guy that I definitely need to talk to. And I was also told that you have many stories to tell with your journey and experience with Sir and everything that you do in the world of music. So I've been personally very excited, and since the last few weeks that we have known, I've always got the vibe of like this is one amazing guy that I definitely need to talk to. So I've been very excited to talk to you, and obviously you might be aware that Rajiv Menon also came on the podcast yesterday, and he was in all smiles when I mentioned about your name. I mentioned your name, and because he's obviously aware about the projects that you worked with him, and then so like I was very excited. So thank you, man. Thank you so much for making time
Thank you.
for the podcast. And this podcast, of course, as you know, I'm doing it with a lot of love, respect, and utmost integrity for Sir. And I want this journey to be celebrated and treasured for a long time. And hence why I've been extremely excited, and I feel like I'm on a dream journey, especially for the fact that I'm registering memories which will be etched for a long time, and then for the years to come. And 2 years, 3 years later, we will go back and see, oh yeah, we spoke about this. And Sir also might go back and see his own podcast. Who knows? But this is a memory that I'm creating, and I'm extremely excited about this journey because Sir um, is how should I say it? It's an era for all of us, and I don't think this AR Rahman era is ever going to come back. So I want to make the most of the era that I am living in, with Sir around, and then all the magic that we have all been experiencing. You can see how excited I'm getting when I talk about Sir, and that so I'm like super excited. So, buddy, I'll stop talking. I'll let you talk. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having me on this podcast.
And look, I definitely know there are so many topics that I want to chat with you about. But before we just deep dive into it, I probably will take a couple of steps back. And would you like to share, about your childhood, where how what your upbringing was, and then did you know that music was your thing? When did you realize that music was your thing, and then how did you grow up to head towards what you always wanted to do, like what you're doing right now? So how did you follow your passion is what I'm trying to say.
So I have an older brother. He's very much interested in Western classical music,
Right.
and I grew up in the 90s. So that's when CDs came out, and my dad got us a CD player. So my brother would go and pick up all these Western classical pieces, CDs, and he would play it in the house. So I was like very curious
Yeah.
about what is this. I was just like what 5 6 years old that time. So then one vacation, what was happening? My mom couldn't handle me, and
Mm.
there was a piano teacher coming and teaching my brother.
Yeah.
So because she couldn't handle me, she's just like, "Why don't you also join the piano classes?" So that's how I joined piano classes, and I studied in a very special school. It's called Shurabindo International Center of Education. In my school we didn't have exams,
Hmm.
and we could choose the subjects that we wanted to study, and we could choose the teacher under which we wanted to study that subject.
Oh
So
my
it was
god.
a yeah, it was
School
a
like this
system called
exists.
yeah, yeah. So it was a system called free progress. So you could progress in your way and in your own speed.
Wow.
So music was a part of it. So I used to play a lot of piano. My afternoons and evenings were practicing the piano.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized that I like doing this, and this is what perhaps I want to do. I wasn't sure yet because I also liked physics, so I wasn't so sure. So I took a call in college that this is what I want to do, because in college programs I used to play the keyboard and I
Yeah.
used to have friends sing.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that period. So I was like, I want to do this perhaps my whole life. So
Amazing.
just when I finished college, Sir announced KM,
Yes.
and
I was just
my
trying to
mom
think which year it was.
2007,
Yeah, that's what.
2008,
Correct.
2008
Correct. Correct.
January on his birthday he announced.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my
Yeah.
mom got this newspaper cutting from Hindu saying that A.R. Rahman announces KM Music Conservatory.
Yeah.
And I was more inclined towards audio engineering because I studied physics.
Yeah.
So I was interested in the technical side, all the mixers and the
Yeah.
consoles. I was very like
Yeah.
fancied by it. So I joined SAE, School of Audio Engineering. It's an
Yeah.
Australian institute. They have a branch in
Oh,
Chennai.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Nice. Nice.
So I did that, and
Yeah.
then I did my Logic Pro certification from Apple.
Wow. Wow.
So the trainer was Selva Kumar sir,
Oh,
and
wow.
he happened to be the first principal of KM.
Yes.
So so what happened is like he like told me like you have to come and join KM
Yeah.
because my idea was to finish SAE and go to Byron Bay in Australia and
Oh,
finish my degree in audio engineering.
yeah.
But as things would have it, he brought me to KM, made me fill up the form, and I joined KM.
Yeah.
I took the piano course, foundation program,
Yeah.
and I finished as the best student in
Oh,
KM.
wow.
So, sir took notice of me, and he called me for internship.
Wow.
So, it was during the Christmas break. So he asked me, "Do you want to go for your break, or do you want to work? Do you want to intern at Panchatan?" So the answer was like, "Surely I'll intern at Panchatan."
Yeah.
So I interned at Panchatan. So my first job was to write scores.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think Rashid Ali was doing his album, Call Me Rashid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for live strings, I had to write the scores that it was programmed.
Yeah.
So that was my first job in the studio,
And you had learned that as part of the KM course?
and also in Pondi,
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
So both. Uh,
Yeah.
so then I wrote, and then he liked it. Then after the internship, sir was busy touring. So for 1 year, we were not in touch.
Yeah.
Then I think the next batch is KM Day, the annual day. He saw me sitting in the audience and
Yeah.
he signaled me like this, come. He's like, hey, what are you doing here? I was like, I came to see the show, sir. Like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing, sir. I'm just doing my own. I'm trying to do ads and jingles. So like, are you free tonight? I was like, yes, sir. Can you come to the studio after this? I was like, today, sir. Yeah, today. Like, okay. So then I went. So he was doing his Jaiho tour
Yeah.
at that time. So he wanted me to mix the 5.1 of the Jaiho tour
Oh,
concert.
wow. Wow.
So he told Suresh, who was the engineer in Panchatan, to give me all the sessions. And
Wow.
then he gave me AM ground floor for 2 months to
Phew.
finish that. Yeah.
Wow. Were you nervous?
Yes, because what happens is Sir has this test of fire. He'll give you something that you have never done, that you have never done or you have no clue about.
Yeah.
And then I think it tests your attitude more than if you
Yeah.
can do it.
Yeah.
So if you take it up as a challenge and do it, he's more impressed than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't say no because I learned only theoretically how to do it.
Yeah.
I never learned how to do it practically.
Right.
5.1.
Right.
So that was my first hands-on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I was just gonna ask. So, 2 months, but on day one, did you know where to start?
So luckily the engineers in AM were very helpful.
Yeah.
Pradeep and all that. So whenever I had doubt, I should climb up to the second floor, call him, and like, hey, I have this doubt, what to do, and then he'll show me. So I had very helpful people
Right.
around to help.
Right. Right. So you basically picked it up on the fly
Yes,
while
yes,
working on it.
exactly.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. And what happened after 2 months? I'm like very curious to hear now.
So then we took the whole session up to. So I was. He also gave me in between the KM day that he spotted me on. He
Yeah.
also asked me to mix that.
Okay.
So I was doing that also. So what happened is one day he fixed a time in the evening
Yeah.
We'll watch it in AM second floor on the screen, and we'll do the mix on the icon console.
Yeah.
We'll do the tweaks. So we were doing that, and then we were sitting. He was telling me, patiently teaching me. He was sitting side by side. So he was telling me how to cut out pops, like the p and the b that comes out. Telling
Oh,
me you need to
wow.
EQ the this thing. He was showing me do that. He was instructing me.
Wow.
Like so, I was like, wow. And then he was like, yeah, you need to learn all this. He was
Yeah.
like telling me, and that's when we spotted Abhay. Uh,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was in a Kavali, and I was playing it. He's like, hey, stop, 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 go back, play that. Who's that boy? Find out that boy for me.
Abhay Jodhpukar, right?
Yeah, Abhay
Yeah, yeah.
Jodhpukar.
Yeah.
He's like, find out that boy for me. Who's
Wow.
that guy? So I found out, and then Mungil Totem happened.
What happened?
Mungil Totem.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. A month later, he was like, hey, call that boy, that Kavali boy who was there.
Amazing,
So I
man.
was like,
Sir
yeah,
remembers all this, huh?
yeah, he remembers.
Wow.
Yeah,
His memory is amazing, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Even sometimes when you send him stuff, your tracks or something, you might not get a reply. He might have heard it. Randomly, some few months later or a year later, he'll be like, hey, you did that track, no? That was, and then he'll give you feedback on that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
So, right. And then, so it's been 10 years at
yeah, yeah,
working with Sir.
yeah.
Right. Amazing, man. And uh, some of the projects that you have worked on, would you like to talk about that? And of course, you did speak about the tour, right? But what are the other projects that you worked on?
So my first project that I sat on was Ravan and Delhi 6.
Wow.
So sir just asked me to hang around in the studio. He's like,
Yeah.
just hang around, watch Deepak, PA Deepak was working
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
So just like, just watch him work, just hang around, just be around here. And then he just let me be there. So I was basically every day just there hanging around. And then I was observing what was the process and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Then Rockstar happened.
Wow. Yeah.
This was 2011. So till
Mm.
then, I was just hanging around and watching and everything.
Mm.
Uh, he suddenly needed somebody to go to Ramoji Film City
Mm.
for this song Nadan Parinde, where the chorus, the whole crowd sings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he wanted somebody. They were shooting the song in Ramoji Film City,
Yeah.
and he needed somebody to go and record the crowd singing.
Wow.
So he sent me to Hyderabad. Again, untested, nothing. He just like send me like you have to just record the crowd sing Nadan Parinde chorus and come. And he informed Imtiaz Ali I'm coming.
Yeah.
So Imtiaz sir made preparations, everything.
Mm.
So there was that Ranbir Kapoor coming in the night
Yeah.
playing the
Yeah.
guitar. So
Yeah.
that was being shot. So
Oh.
after that was done,
Yeah.
there's this whole Iranian crowd from Pune and Bangalore.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was part of the stadium crowd.
Wow.
So we made them sing O Nadan Parinde, that part. So that was again, so that was my first hands on. So then he asked me after I came back from Hyderabad, would you like to work here officially?
Wow.
Yeah.
And
So
that
I said,
was like after 1 year, is it? 1 year
yes,
or two
after
years?
1 year.
1 year.
After one and a half years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So then I said, sure, sir,
So
I would love
so
to.
the probation period was over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, sure, sir, because I was the first KM student to really like end up working with him. So I think I was testing the waters. So then I said, sure. Then I said, okay, just be here all the time and you can learn. I'll give you work randomly here and there. So my first thing was like recording chorus. So
Yeah.
Panchatan has 2 floors. So I was on
Yeah.
first floor. He would send me soundtracks. I had to record and send it back down.
Yeah.
And then he would hear comment. And then slowly he got me into programming also. He would be like, add this, I'll come back in half an hour. Add it. So in that half an hour I'll have to add, and then he'll give feedback. So that's how it slowly started.
Wow. Wow.
And then as it went on, he became more confident, I think, and then he would give me more heavy responsibilities.
Right. Okay. And look, and the thing is, I mean, I want to go deep dive into a number of other things as well, but I want to take a step back again. During your life at KM, what was it like to study there, and that was a 3 year course, was it? Or
So when the first year when I joined, I was the first batch. It was only a 1 year course.
right? Okay,
They're not affiliated with Middlesex University.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Awesome.
so
And
just 1 year.
what was it like to study at KM? I mean, the reason why I'm asking this is obviously, as part of this podcast journey, we have this I Love ARR community which has formed now, and many, many aspirational musicians there, and then they might be interested to know more. That's why I'm asking this.
So I had a fantastic experience at KM. So
Yeah,
much so that I used to stop going to my SAE classes to just be at KM because I was surrounded by these amazing classmates who were also talented. So you could learn blues from this keyboardist who was like very good at blues,
yeah,
or this keyboardist from Gujarat, Chintan. He was very good at jazz.
yeah,
So you could pick up, and you're always surrounded by music. Like people would be doing their assignments, so they'll be like asking other friends about theory. So you'll be only hearing music terms and everything. Or we had free internet also there. They'll be downloading movies, and then they'll be talking about movies. Hey, you should watch this movie. So it was always that environment. So it was, and we were all together.
yeah.
So we would go for tea together, snacks together, and
Nice,
then come back, practice together, chat about music.
nice.
Hey, we have to finish world history tomorrow, assignment for tomorrow. So it would be that. So what happens is your learning becomes immediately, it takes a leap
Yeah,
when you're surrounded by this kind
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
environment. So I thoroughly enjoyed game because
Hmm.
it was suddenly I was surrounded by so much of music. So I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
Amazing, man. And then,
Yeah.
are you in touch with all your friends, still your KM friends and all?
Yes. Very much. We have a group. So during the lockdown, we all had a um, Facebook group meeting, video chat.
Very
So
nice.
we all caught
Amazing.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, great, great. Amazing. So, okay, now the thing is, I'm going to go 2 steps ahead now. So, of course, you spent the first 1.5 years interning with Sir and his team, and then started on with, projects. And so, what's been the most challenging project that you've ever done? Or every project has its own challenges? Is that how you'd want to put it?
So I think every project has its own challenge
Yeah.
because every day I go to the studio, I
Yeah.
don't know what capacity I'm working on. If
Oh,
I'm working as a programmer, if I'm working as a record engineer, if I'm
right.
working as a score writer, I don't know.
Yeah.
So every day I go not knowing what work is in store for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So every project has been a challenge because
And that
I
makes it
think every
exciting.
project. Sorry.
That makes it exciting for you because you're actually not
Yes.
even sure what you're going to be working on, and then yeah.
Yeah. That's how I don't know how these 10 years went because uh, every project is so different from each other that you get consumed by it and then
Yeah.
you don't know that it's gone. Like
Yeah.
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 So
So every project has its own
yeah.
challenges, and there's
Yeah.
learnings.
Yeah. Just I think some projects can be easier than the other,
Yeah.
but not super easy. It's like always easier, but not super easy.
Which has been your most favorite project that you worked on? The one that comes to your mind the moment I asked you this.
I think Rockstar.
Rockstar?
Yeah.
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 And
Because everything was just happening so fast in front of my eyes, and
yeah.
I was like, just like, wow, wow, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And you also worked on Delhi 6 as well, right?
Delhi 6, I was interning. I was more watching and learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more of that.
Right. So, look, since Rajiv was there on the podcast just yesterday, uh, what was the experience like working with him on Sarvam Talamayam? Does it bring back any memories?
He's very knowledgeable, extremely knowledgeable. You can hold conversations with him with about music for hours
For
together.
hours together.
Yeah,
I
and
experienced
then
that yesterday.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's very rooted. At least in Savam Talamayam, he was very rooted in the Indian music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and he doesn't get easily satisfied with anything that you give him. He will only get satisfied with what he wants.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
when we were doing the score, sir would give tunes and everything. He would reject a lot because
Oh
it wouldn't
yeah.
satisfy him. Yeah. He'd be like, it's not working for me, da. I don't want this, da. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and then he would start singing. And then he'll tell, it has to be this rag, da, da, and then he'll start singing.
I love it.
Yeah. So it was a very good learning
Yeah.
experience, especially with directors who are very knowledgeable and know what they want. It's a bigger learning experience.
And he obviously has um, uh, how should I say, love towards the Carnatic flavors more, isn't it?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, did you work on all the tracks in Sarvantalamayam, is it?
No,
Or
no. I came only for the score
oh, right, okay.
because at that time I was doing a web series on my own,
Yeah.
so I was busy with that. But for the score, sir called me to help out, so I joined during the score.
Amazing. Right.
Yeah.
So, buddy, what's the thing is, I mean, I'm just curious to know what's a day in Panchatan like when you walk into the studio. What exactly do you do? Of course, you do not know what you're going to be working on. That's I'm aware about
Yeah.
that. But what's a day in Panchatan like? What time do you start? What time do you finish? Or there's no timing, right?
So generally we start post lunch. So
Yes.
we eat lunch at home and then we go to the studio.
Yeah.
And then we go to the studio and everybody's there almost at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
We're all fresh up post lunch. It's like
Mm.
our morning.
Mm.
And then sometimes it might be the work from the previous day that we have to finish,
Mm.
or it might just be something sir would have sent an email or a voice note saying that this has to be done. So then we'll get started on that. And then sir would also come by 1:32.
Mm.
He'll come and then that's how the work will start. He'll distribute work to everybody who's there, and
Right.
so we'll be all scattered in the different studios,
Yeah.
uh, and we'll be doing. And then he'll tell you, like, okay, show me in 2 hours or 3 hours. Or sometimes he won't just tell. He'll just be like, he'll tell you what to do because it's perhaps arranging the whole song,
Yeah.
programming the whole song.
Yeah.
So it might take much longer. So perhaps you have time till the night. And then next, when he'll see you at night, he'll be like, "Hey, you finished?" You're like, "Yeah, sir." Or you'll be like, "No, sir, yet working." I'll be like, "Yes, yet working, ah." Yeah, yeah, sir. Uh, just little bit is remaining. Okay, okay, finish, and then you'll go back working.
Yeah.
And so we work generally from afternoon till morning, sometimes till 2, 3. That's the average. But sometimes it can go till 9, 10
Oh.
in the morning. Like when we were working on Mom,
Yeah.
the director was here,
Yeah.
so we would finish by 6, 7 in the morning. The director would come and we would play to him from 7 to 9, 10 in the morning.
Wow.
So yeah. So during those times, it's interesting. Like, so at 7 or something, sir will be like, "Let's eat." So
Yeah.
we'll go to the canteen and then hot pongal, vada, all will come, and then we'll all be sitting on the canteen table eating together. So
Nice.
he'll be like, "Eat more, eat more." I'm like, "Yeah, sir."
Yeah.
Yeah. So those kind of things. And then sometimes we might finish a mix in the morning at 6:37. So we check the mix also in the car.
Mm.
So we might go for a drive and then stop by a Sarna Bhavan, have coffee,
Very
pongal,
nice.
come into the car, and then he'll be giving you notes also. You need to change this in this mix.
Oh,
So
you'll
he'll
go
be
for
like,
a drive with sir. That's what you're saying.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, with sir. Yeah, we play the mix in the car and check. And then he'll give you notes. So you'll be taking it down on your
Ah,
phone or you'll be writing it.
yeah.
So the next day when you come back in the afternoon, you go sleep. That time you come back, you need to fix these mixes. So
Don't
that's
people come and mob when you go out for breakfast and all with sir? Or very
so
early in
at
the morning?
7.
That's when- Yeah.
So we don't go in the car. We sit in the car. The food comes to
Ah,
us in the car.
right.
Yeah,
I understand.
yeah.
Great, great. And so that's so. Do you work 7 days a week? Is it? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
You
it
get,
is 7 days a week.
Anna,
Yeah.
there is no weekend or anything.
There's no weekend. Actually, we get bored if there's a holiday. So yeah.
Okay.
So we'll be like calling up each other, hey, what's happening? Because sometimes I've gone to Pondi for a day or two,
Yeah.
and when I come back, everything has changed. So much has changed, either in the studio setup, or the song you're working, or the project you're working itself has so many changes has happened in a day or two.
Wow.
And then you're like little you're left out, that you need to start picking up the pieces. It's even a
Wow.
day going, say I go to my hometown and back, there's lot can happen.
I I wanted to ask, how does Sir remember who's working on what and which track? And of course, Sir has the final say before it gets finalized, right?
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
every sound, every track, Sir has a final say, correct?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
How does he know what brief he has given you, what brief he has given to Karthik
uh,
or someone
he
else?
knows.
How does he remember so many things? And on top of that, millions of other things that he's also dealing.
Correct. He knows, he just knows. And say something by mistake is muted, one small bell is also muted, he notices that.
Oh
He'll be
wow!
like, hey, something is missing, no? He'll be like, go back to the older version. He'll like, see, this bell is missing.
Wow!
Yeah, he can catch that.
He remembers even a bell sound.
Yeah, he'll be like, something is missing, no? Here there was something, no? In this bar. He'll be like, I'm not sure, sir. Then we'll go back to the older session. See, this is missing.
Right.
Yeah, so
So
he's got a very sharp memory.
of course,
Yeah.
look, 10 years, of course, is a good amount of time, and it's, of course, you're blessed to be working with Sir. And I was going to ask. Thing is, I mean, I want to ask a couple of things before I jump into the other stuff. Very keen to know. Um, has Sir yelled at you for anything?
I'll tell you something. I think somebody would yell at you or be angry at you if they're concerned about you.
Yeah,
If they didn't care, they would just like let you go and never call you back. So I think it is out of that more than anything else.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Of
yeah,
course, of course.
yeah. And we all, in a way, we feel sometimes not at that moment, but later we feel happy that that this has happened because he cares for us or he wants us to like improve or progress or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So at that moment, perhaps not, definitely not,
Mm, mm.
but yeah, otherwise, yes.
And I do know for the fact that Sir really expects everyone to eat on time and all that, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he doesn't
Eating
like
on
it.
time is a must.
Correct. Because I've
Yeah,
heard about that, and then
yeah.
in fact I even remember with some of the interactions I've had with Sir, he asked me whether I have eaten. Like I'm 5.5 hours ahead of India, and then he still asked me,
Right.
right?
Eating is a very important thing. So he'll be like, Saptiya, I guess that's how. Yeah,
You can't afford to miss your meals and
yeah,
then
yeah,
work, right?
yeah. Sleeping is not so much of an issue, but eating is. Yeah.
Right. And I also heard that sometimes there are, like, he organizes chocolates or stuff like that for the
Yeah,
team. Do you
yeah.
remember any of those moments? Like what?
Uh,
Like on what occasions does he do that?
so sometimes some projects are like very long. It's a long process, and
Yeah.
you're there in the studio for long hours.
Yeah.
So suddenly one box of chocolates will appear in the studio. Muruk packet, Muruk will appear. Dabbas will appear in the studio. So snacks will appear.
Yeah.
So I remember when we were working on 24.
Hmm.
So we had 1 week to finish the score, and we were set up on AM first floor.
Yeah.
So three of us were working in three different rooms. Ishan, Chetan, and me.
Hmm.
Um, so sir would jump from one room to the other. and he would listen to what we are doing. And then the director also was there,
Hmm.
Vikram Kumar sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they would be discussing about the next cue and everything,
Yeah.
and sir would be like working on the piano and everything.
Yeah.
And then suddenly we come out of the rooms and we sing Muruga Dabbas. I was like, hey, all of you have, yeah, yeah. So
Right.
we had Murukus and then coffee. We have a coffee machine in the studio.
I heard that it's
So every,
nice.
yeah, it's nice. So we go on, keep making coffee. There's ample amount of green tea, three different types of green teas.
Yeah.
We just go and make
And sir has
coffee.
black coffee, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So even like Katija might be in the studio. She'll be like, "Hey, you've not eaten. Why don't you go and eat? Why don't you eat?" So that all that concern is there. So like, yeah,
Yeah. Khadija is more like sir,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah. She's amazing. I like her so
yeah.
much. Um, and does since you mentioned about murku snacks and all, does sir like to eat murku snacks and all or what? He
Yeah,
does.
yeah,
He
yeah,
likes snacks.
yes, yes. So when I joined, Amma used to send murku from upstairs. So I
Wow.
used to get these murku packets, and then there used to be this small fridge with a Red Bull. So
But I heard there is no Red Bull anymore.
nah, there's no Red Bull anymore.
Yeah.
So this was in the beginning when I
Yeah,
joined.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then that fridge disappeared, and then we had this coffee machine and all. So yeah.
Right. Tell me about this canteen in the studio. So who makes the
So
food and like this canteen like it's there 24 hours, is it? You can go and get food anytime or what? How does it work?
so they're canteen boys. So you just call them up and tell them I want this food,
Yeah.
and they'll go and bring it up. Like if you want a Subway, they just pick up a
Oh
Subway
yeah,
for you.
I understand.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So they'll
Right.
go buy it and they'll call you and tell you there's Subway. And then
Right.
there's the coffee machine there and the snacks in the cupboard. So you just open and have it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Nice.
this is because like at 3 a.m. or something you're working and you're super hungry. You can't go out anywhere and eat at that time.
So so have yeah, sir also goes and picks up the snacks and then he eats.
I think he goes home. He doesn't come to the canteen much.
Okay.
Except during those few breakfast times that we have together.
Yeah.
He doesn't come to the canteen much. It's more like us there. Yeah.
Does sir like cake, chocolates and all or not really?
I've never seen him eat
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And but again, we both know Sir has crazy sense of humor.
Yeah. Yeah.
He cracks
Yeah.
jokes like every time I've spoken to him, there is some
Yeah.
joke and we both are laughing. And
Yeah.
he knows I laugh out really loud when he cracks the jokes and all, and he just keeps
Yeah.
smiling when I'm laughing.
Yeah.
So, do you can you think of stuff that comes to your mind where he has cracked a joke and then
He used to call me, there's this composer called Jerry Goldsmith.
right, yeah, yeah.
So he used to, for the longest time, he used to call me Seri Goldsmith. For the longest time, he used to call me. And anytime I did something, like I skipped a bar or something, he'll be like, Seri. He would look at me like that. He'd go like that. And then, yeah, he'd be like, sorry, sir. And then, yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then every now and then he'll crack jokes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Suresh and me will be looking at each other and we'll laughing. Sometimes it could even be a poor joke or something like, that poor joke, PJs, that
PJs.
kind of thing. But the way he said it, like with eyes shining like that, no? So you end up laughing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you don't really take a day off or something at all, is it?
Uh, mostly unless you're ill or something, generally not. Yeah, you're working
Wow.
most of the time. Yeah.
Amazing, man.
And I think just say like Diwali or something, then we would take a day or two because
The
we would like
studio
to go
never
and meet
shuts
family.
as such.
No. So we take in rotation.
Ah, yeah.
Like Diwali, Karthik and Suresh might take off.
Hmm.
Christmas, I might take off. So
Right.
like that.
Right.
So we have that understanding. and we'll tell each other, hey, I'm taking off for so many days, so you better be there in the studio. So it's yeah.
And do you need to tell sir that you're going to be away for so and so days?
Yeah. So we mail him, like we ask him permission, like can we take? So I remember, yeah, sometimes he would be like, can you take on this date instead of this date? Because perhaps a meeting or an important thing might be happening on that day.
Right.
So if it's possible, he'll be like, sure, sir, yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Amazing. Great. Now, look, I have to ask you about something very interesting and exciting for me. And so, 2019, uh, May 19th was when I got my dream car, and the number plate thing happened.
We all heard about it in the studio. It was the talk of it in the studio.
I want to know what happened. Because I asked sir as well in the podcast, but I'll let you watch it when it comes.
So I got to know, like Karthik or Suresh told, hey, there's one big fan of sir. He bought a BMW and he put number plate of sirs. I was like, wow, okay, that is something. So we were all talking about it. Then we were almost like, he must be like super fan. And Suresh was like, sir has got such good fans, no, like that. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think a year before that, a street in Canada also was, I think a year or two before that, a street in Canada was named after sir.
Yes.
So we're like, see, now sir has a street in his name. Now a car also makes, we don't know what, perhaps a planet or a comet or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, man. So of course, sir acknowledged that, and as you know, and it was just it. I think it broke the internet that day.
Yeah.
And so, in fact, in one of the recent meetings as well, sir was jokingly, he said, "You know what? I should buy a BMW car now and then put your name on it." So yeah, I mean, look, I find it even more special. Like even now, like I like to take pictures with me and the number plate, as you would have seen, and I just feel special. I feel like sir is next to me, and also when I met him in Trichy last year during the concert, right? I had flown down, and then I told him, sir, when you come to Australia next, I will pick you up at the airport and I'll drive you in the car to the hotel. And then he said, yeah, that's fine, but let me drive. So
He'll remember this. He'll
yeah,
remember this.
he will.
Yeah.
And so has sir driven the car and you've been in his car?
Seen him?
I've,
I'm not.
I've heard stories of his car driving. That's why I'm asking.
I did experience sitting inside it, but then what happened once was he wanted to go to YM, which is one street parallel to
Yeah,
Panchatan.
yeah,
So he looked for the drive. This was at 2:33 in the morning, I think,
yeah.
and he wanted to go. And his car to go from this street to that street was the Nano at that time.
He still has the
So
nano.
I've not seen it for some time now.
Okay,
So yeah, so he was calling the driver. So then what happened was the driver was sleeping that time.
okay.
So then sir didn't wait. He took the car and he went. He
Yeah,
went this way.
yeah.
So then Suresh woke up the driver saying that sir has gone
Hmm.
to YM.
Hmm.
Go quickly. So the driver went this way. By then sir came back this way in
Yeah,
the Nano. So that's the only time I saw sir
okay.
driving the car.
Right. And interestingly, sir used to have a white color car in LA before, the white convertible, as you might know, right?
The Bentley.
Bentley, but he doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, correct.
And when Sir was in the podcast, I told him, Sir, do you remember you had the white color car before? He said, yeah, yeah. And I told him my previous car was a white color convertible, and I wanted to ensure it was white just because you had a white color. And he was like, "You're crazy." And then he said, "I have a very nice car now. Do you know what it is?" He asked me. I said, "Sir, teriyo sir." He said, "No, tell me." I said, "Nano." He said, "Correct."
Yeah. So that is just like a buggy going from this street to that street. Yeah.
Then I told him, "Sir, when do you actually drive?" And he said, "I will drive, very early in the morning or in the night, and no one will know the time. And who will come looking for me in the Nano?"
Correct. So this happened at 3 in the morning or something. That incident. Yeah, the nano thing.
Right. And thing is, I mean, we all know Sir likes to go shopping whenever he travels and stuff, and he likes to get new instruments, and so he likes to keep exploring the instruments and learning new things every day. And have you got any memories to share looking at Sir practicing a brand new instrument that he got from somewhere? And
So I've
because
seen
that,
like whenever
yeah,
there's a new instrument, it'll be right on his table, and then somehow in the coming project he'll be using it or he'll try and use it somehow. Like I remember when the Seaboard came out,
yeah,
we were performing a gig in Dubai. It was the first Sufi concert
yeah,
that was
yeah,
happening in Dubai.
yeah,
So I think there was a problem with the Seaboard,
yeah,
and he wanted to use it badly.
right,
So he contacted the Seaboard guys in London,
yeah,
and they were more than happy to get a new one for him from London. So a
wow,
day before the show, one guy, Manan Dave, who was working with Seaboard that time, Rolly,
yeah,
he came with a new Seaboard, flew from London to Dubai,
Phew,
and delivered it to us. Yeah,
wow,
and sir, by then he knew what he was doing on it, everything, and then he also wanted he used it in OK Kanmani, A
yeah,
Sinamika.
yeah,
So it
yeah,
was around that time.
wow,
So the song was done, and he felt something was missing.
yeah,
So he's like, "Get me the keyboard," and then he played that flute. That flute part on it, he played on that. So
wow,
so
I,
he anything he like sits on it for a long time until he knows it in and out. So
right,
sometime a plugin might be new and then you just use it superficially. He'll be like, "Go there, do this, change this," and the sound completely changes to something
wow,
else. So
wow.
he'll be like, "This plugin just came last week. When did he know this plugin can do this?"
I,
So
I'm
yeah,
always amazed because Sir is always looking at learning something new all the time.
yeah,
And in fact, it's just not about music. It's like about AI, artificial intelligence, or virtual reality and stuff. Because whenever I talk to Sir, these are the topics that we talk about, and it just amazes me the depth of knowledge he has about the stuff, even the stuff that I am working on. Like, I work in IT here, and he knows about the stuff. And I talk to him about something, and then he says, "Yeah, yeah, hey, you know what? Have you heard about this one?" And he knows about every topic under the sun.
yeah,
It
yeah,
amazes me,
yeah.
and I'll be like, "Sir, everybody, sir."
So also sometimes we'll be seeing him, he'll be sitting on his iPad and he'll be like on YouTube checking out stuff.
Hmm.
And then if he finds something interesting, he'll mail it to you. He'll be like, "Learn this." And
Yeah.
then so that way it's like super cool.
Is-
And then
is-
you're also pushed to your learning curve is
Correct.
also pushed. You're
Correct.
not like settling for, like
Yeah.
and if there's an update, you're sure the next day that you're coming, that update is done in the studio.
Wow.
It's always moving forward. Yeah.
Right. And I know, internally within the team, there's always this conversation, like Mac versus PC, and uh, PA Deepak already always is involved in that discussion because he uses a PC.
You
Do you
see.
want to share anything about that?
So at one point we were like, we used to get into like this discussion, and it could turn out, like intense. But then now we're just like, okay, we're beyond it. Just okay, you be PC, I'll remain Mac. It's that.
Does Sir
Yeah.
tease him too? Because he uses a PC? Or he's just given up?
Uh, I think he just doesn't say anything. Yeah. He doesn't say. Sir is very much Apple, Apple.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
everything Apple. Yeah. So
And
Mac.
I think I've told Sir about it. I have a motorbike here, and the motorbike registration plate is Apple.
Oh. Nice.
And every time I get a new gadget, as in whenever Apple releases anything new, I usually get it. And Sir gets to see it, and he'll be like, "Hey, because recently I got the MacBook Pro, right?
Okay.
And then the new one, the M1,
M1.
on the day it got released, and then I showed it to him, and he was like, the apps will take a while for it to get updated for this Mac and all that he was saying, and then a week later he has it.
Yeah.
Then I told him, "Sir, you told me this, and now you have it."
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I think he's just curious. He wants to learn. He wants to see what's up with the new Mac. So yeah.
because I still remember, I got the new iPad Pro as well when it
Okay.
came out, and then on the iPad I got it engraved from Apple. I love ARR,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
shared that to Sir, and he was just smiling.
Yeah.
Right. And buddy, the thing is, I mean, of course, I'm sure you're enjoying the journey that you're in right now, 10 years. So what's ahead for you? What are your plans? Where do you want to take your music to? I'm just curious.
So I'm also like into composing and all.
Yes.
So I do my projects also parallelly.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm busy with that, I inform sir, like, sir, I'll be busy with this for some time. So I'll stay out of this project for some time.
Okay.
So he prefers that than you take up and leave halfway.
Right. Right.
So I tell him beforehand, it's a sir, I can't because I'm involved with this. Then he's like, okay, all the best. And then so I'm
Right.
also trying to like come up with my own music and sound. So
So do you
that's
have a
the
studio
direction
of
I'm
your own?
moving in. Sorry,
You have a studio as well?
I have a home studio.
Home
So
studio?
yeah, so I have a setup at home. So I do most of my work from there. Even during the lockdown, sir would send some sessions I would do from here and send back.
Wow.
So
Okay.
uh,
What what does it take to set up a studio at home, Jerry? I'm just curious.
I think you just need a computer, the software,
A PC or a
speaker,
Mac?
sound card. Sorry?
I said a PC or a Mac.
Yeah, or a PC or a Mac. Yeah. A sound card, a MIDI keyboard. That's it,
Right.
and you're good to go.
And you need nice speakers and stuff, right? Or you just use your
Yes.
headphones?
Speakers or headphones. I have speakers, but you can have speakers or head.
Right. Right. Wow. And you need to be an expert in Logic Pro, I take it?
So Logic Pro is interestingly very easy,
Really?
extremely easy. Yeah, it's very easy. Even
You're
I found
saying that
Final Cut
because
Pro
you're
very easy.
certified.
Sorry.
You're saying that because you're certified.
Uh, 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 I got certified later, but I did started doing Logic Pro when I was in school.
Oof. Okay.
Uh, I think it was there was a PC version before Apple bought Logic Pro. It was created by a German company called Imagic Audio.
Oh, really? Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
Apple bought it from Logic 6. So at
Um,
Logic 5.5, Imagic Audios. So
okay.
that would run on a PC.
Yeah.
And my friend and me would sit hours together figuring it out. But it wasn't that difficult.
Right. Right.
It's I think it's popular also because it's easy.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, uh, with the projects that you work with, sir, right? So, I'm just keen to understand what's the life cycle of a project, man. Like, let's say, Rockstar, for example, or any other project, Sarvam Talamayam. So there is usually a deadline for every project, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. And the deadline is set by the director,
Yes.
right?
Or the
And
producer.
or the producer, right? Okay. And so you're working on a mix, and then before it comes to you, someone else is working on that part, and they have a deadline as well. Is that how it works,
Yes,
where
yes.
they have, let's say they have 2 days to finish this, and then comes to you, let's say if you were mixing it and it comes to you, do you also get a deadline saying it's only 1 day that you can spend on this for mixing?
Often, yes. Often.
Wow.
When you come for mixing or something, generally you take a day or two at the most
Right.
before showing it to sir, because on the mix he sits with you and then it goes out. So,
Wow.
so a
Okay.
day or two you spend with it yourself.
Yeah.
So there'll be already a reference mix from Logic that sir would have done. So
Yeah.
that is your reference.
Yeah.
And in Pro Tools, you'll be doing the final mix. So
Right.
to go back and forth with the Logic mix should not change drastic. The energy should not change drastically
Right.
from it.
Right.
So you would get a day or two to be with it, and then
Okay.
sir will come and he'll sit with you and finish.
Wow.
So generally that is that, and everything goes like this. So sometimes you might have done the mix, and but sir has got some other track to finish from the same album,
Mm-hmm.
which then takes precedence. So then he'll be working on that, and then suddenly one day he'll be like, okay, let's work on this.
Right.
So then you open the session, and then you finalize it in a few hours, or sometimes it might take longer.
So he
So
actually
that,
sits for those few hours to finish it.
yes, everything he sets before it's finalized. Everything, nothing goes without going through him.
There is no sound that goes out of the studio
Yeah,
without.
no, yeah, no, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like very commendable on the way he manages all this together, and also his time management skills as well,
Correct.
because even apart from the music and projects and stuff, he's dealing with so many other things, like the
Yes,
things that I talk to him about and stuff like that. He deals with that too, apart from the
yes,
music projects, and
yes,
it just amazes me, man.
yes. And the ability to switch is what is extremely spectacular. Like upstairs, one Kuttu song might be going up from a film, and downstairs from another film, some lullaby might be going on. And then he'll finish that, he'll come and he'll be ready to go for the lullaby. It's like switch gears like that. So
Wow.
that's very very commendable how he can
Right,
just switch.
right. And also another thing is, I've heard that, of course, we all know when he goes to pray and then he comes back, he's fully charged, and there is like the aura is 10 times more when he comes out of the prayer, and then he sits, starts composing, it just flows. You've seen
Correct.
that happen too?
So when he composes, none of us are allowed inside.
Right,
He just wants to be with himself.
right.
So before in the older building in Panchatan, we used to have a card system to enter the door.
Uh, uh,
So we should take out the card so that
yeah.
nobody can enter. So, but now we just tell people there's somebody sitting outside, like nobody should go, sir is composing.
Wow, wow.
So,
And that usually takes a while, right?
yeah, yeah,
Uh, right,
yeah. And
right.
then he'll come out and then he'll be like, I finished, you can compete. He'll give you instructions to do something with it.
Wow,
Yeah. Or
amazing.
he'll be like, just take a bounce and send it to me. I'll send it to the director or something. He'll give you what to do with it. Next
Right,
step.
right,
Yeah.
right. So, has there been an instance where, obviously, Sir has created the skeleton of it to start with, and then by the time it reached the final mix and all that, have you been amazed? Of course, you'd be amazed with the output anyway for every track, no doubt about it. But is there that one track that comes to your mind where skeleton was like this and now the output is like totally different and it's out of the world?
I think some of the songs from Rockstar,
Yeah, You always
Like
keep
it would
going back
just,
to Rockstar, right?
yeah, because that was my first time when I was seeing him compose from the beginning stage to the end stage.
Yeah,
Because when I came for Delhi 6 and Ravan before that, it was already at the finishing stages.
yeah.
So I didn't see the beginning to end. I just saw the end part of it. So
Wow.
this was the first time where I was seeing the beginning to end.
Yeah.
So I was seeing this track, I think Shahar Mein or something,
Mm,
Shahar Mein,
mm,
where it was just the ting 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 ting. It was just that, and it was just some random humming of Sirs,
yeah.
the tune humming, and I was like, okay, I'm not getting the gist of it. But then Imtiaz Ali sir, Suresh and me were there.
Yeah.
So Imtiaz Ali sir was explaining to sir that he wants this, like, like the
Yeah.
recording and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then sir was like, "Tan, tan, 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 tan." He played on the fly on the this thing,
Wow.
on the keyboard. Then he turned back, how's this? Then Imtiaz Ali was like, good. Then he hit record and he started. So I saw that whole track evolving
Wow.
from there. So that was like, oh, okay, this is how it works. So that was my first time, like
Right.
so. But another thing I want to say is some tracks, even the skeleton is so beautiful that when you have to go to programming, you don't know what to do because it's beautiful by itself. So
Yeah.
sometimes I get lost, like because you don't want to spoil it by overdoing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Just that perhaps it might
Amazing.
be shaker and voice, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Uh,
Uh, just it just occurred to me, right, when you mentioned about, say, Sarvam Talamayam, and then of course Rajiv Menon is too hard to please straight away, and number of tunes probably might get rejected. What happens to those rejected tunes? Does it sit somewhere and you go back and revisit for something else, or how do you even remember that this is there and you know where to go and get it? How does it work?
so we've got a hard disk full of unused tunes. So
Okay.
when say there's a very tight deadline or something, you have to deliver a tune. So sir would be like pick some tunes from there and put it in my iTunes. So we create a playlist from unused tunes or something. We create a and we put the date. So in sir when he comes in free time, he'll check the tunes. In iTunes you can put that heart. So
Yeah.
whichever you like, he'll put the heart and then you save it for open the session and keep it for him. And
But
then he'll tell
iTunes,
you what to do with it.
you don't have iTunes anymore. How do you do it now?
Sorry, Apple Music.
Yeah.
Apple
Yeah.
Music. Yeah.
Okay.
Music.
Right. I
Yeah.
understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's how you keep track of the tunes.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't delete anything. We store everything.
Of course.
Everything that's rejected. I think from AYM there was a song Avalum Nanum
Hmm.
that was for acting OK Kanmani and we used it. So
Right. Great. Um. d- Also, look. I, I'm just curious to know again. Some of the movies that got shelved, for example, like the movie Engineer and Yelelo and all, long back. I'm not sure if you remember those. And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Some of them. Yeah.
so uh, because obviously Sir and his team would have worked on the project and you know finished the tunes and everything, but the movie got shelved. Does it go into the same bank here again, where
Yeah.
and you'll probably go and revisit it at some point?
Yes. Yes.
Right.
So we have proper storage system. So we store everything and yeah.
Right. And
So at some point, sir might be like, we need to perhaps mix this again, a 2003 project.
yeah.
So then we would contact Shiva sir, who's been there with him from those are days. So he'll go like, sir, we need. So he'll be like, I have it in this format. So we'll have to convert it to a digital format and then do something with it. So yeah.
Right. And I'm not sure if you might be aware, but because Sir did express his interest of remastering some of the old tracks. Is that still on the radar?
So it was very much on the radar during lockdown because there was
Yeah,
nothing much happening
yeah,
as such because theaters were not open and also
yeah,
the releases all got pushed. So this was it was very much on track. Now some of the projects have taken front seat, so that
Understand.
has got a little bit
But it
tricky.
is definitely there
Yeah, yeah,
on the plan at least.
I think so. Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we could probably expect something at least within the next 1 year or so, right? Hopefully.
So these kind of things are very unpredictable.
Yeah, yeah,
So like it might take a longer time because his priority is the current projects.
yeah.
This should happen on the side parallelly.
Correct.
So he might master, but he's not happy with it yet. So, but this is happening. So he might need some time off to properly sit on it, and then okay to give the green signal.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's
So,
tricky. It's not like straightforward. You're done and it's out. It might need more work. His approval mainly. So that takes
right.
time.
And does it have to be like this is I'm just asking this out of curiosity. Does it have to be mastered separately for the platforms, like one for Spotify, one for Apple Music? That way it works?
So we do two masters, I think. One for iTunes and one for YouTube. That's it. Generally nowadays,
And okay. So what about
because CDs are redundant, so we
yeah,
don't do that anymore. So it's YouTube and MFIT mastered for iTunes. The MFIT we use it on
for Spotify?
Spotify, etc., etc.
Right, okay. So it's not like different formats for Spotify and
Oh no. It's just different loudness levels.
right,
Mm.
right, okay. And so you have platforms like Deezer and what's the other one?
Tidal.
Tidal, right?
Yeah.
And they are lossless formats, is it?
Yes.
So that will have a different mastering then?
No. So what happens is they don't compress. So we always give them lossless.
Okay. Oh, I
We
understand.
always give them lossless. The platforms compress according to what, like Spotify, I think is MP3.
Yeah.
So they convert. We don't do anything. We give them
Wow.
lossless.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
What? Okay. This is something that
iTunes we give AAC, which is the format they do, MFIT. So that they maintain like that. Yeah.
and but is iTunes the lossless one then?
It is compressed, but it is not lossy in a funny way. It's called Apple Audio Codec, AAC.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So they claim it to not be lossy, but I don't think it is. I think it is lossy
Yeah.
because you can't have a 30 MB file becoming 20 MB file
Correct.
without losing information. Somewhere something has to go.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a topic that gets discussed big time within the I Love ARR community.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, it's where the trigger is from. So I live here in Australia, as you know,
Okay.
and I Love ARR community has members from all parts of the world,
Correct.
and
Correct.
majority from India, no doubt about it.
Correct.
And we rely on the platforms, the streaming platforms like
Correct.
Spotify and Apple Music.
Correct.
Now the issue is, because of the regions, there are certain albums and songs that are available only in Australia, not in India. And
Correct.
there are certain albums which are available only in India and songs which are available in India but not in Australia. Like
Correct.
Trida Trida example, the album, only Veerapandiya Kotele is only available here, and all the other songs are not available in
Okay.
Australia. But whereas in
Okay.
India it's available.
Correct.
But I think it's probably Tal, for example, is available in Australia but not in India. I'm just telling you
Okay.
some of the examples. So
Okay.
this is like we feel like, oh my god, we love music so much, and obviously, we want to ensure that there is no piracy and all that, and we're not completely happy with the quality that we get from Spotify or Apple Music, because we are like hardcore crazy fans. We want to hear every pin, every bell, like even a pin drops on the floor, we want to hear that sound. And obviously we can't do that unless and until it's lossless, right? And then
Correct.
uh, Tidal or Deezer, for example, is probably going to have maybe one or two albums and not beyond that, because I've tried subscribing for those platforms as well. The question that I've got is, I know I touched on this topic with Sir briefly when I spoke to him,
Okay.
not in the podcast, but outside of that, is we should have something called ARR streaming platform,
Mhm.
where all the songs, all the albums are available and it's lossless. And we as fans, we are ready to pay $100 per month as well for something like that.
I think the plan is on. I think he mentioned subtly that even the score should be released. Like Tiruda Tiruda you took for example.
Yeah.
Only the songs are available.
Yeah.
But there's this score. So he was like, we should even put those things out. But he didn't tell where, but he just said out.
Yeah.
And like I said, it might take a little time because of the
Other
commitment.
priorities. Yes.
Yeah. So
But
present
here
commitment.
I am talking about having an entire streaming platform
Correct.
dedicated for us or me
Okay.
because I need to hear every sound.
I think during lockdown, so our mastering engineer is
Yeah.
Suresh Permal. He was very busy with taking all these backups and putting it up online, but for us on a drive. But I don't know what he's going to do with that. But let's see.
Right. But
Yeah,
you guys have any internal meetings, team meeting?
yeah. We have team meetings. We
Right.
have team meetings.
How often do you
Uh,
do that?
so it depends on the project,
Right.
project to project.
Right. Okay.
And then like Dil Bechara, we had a Zoom success call.
Okay.
Sir came on Zoom, so we were all there on it. And then he like, thank you all for like helping me out, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Very nice.
Usually we have a party where he books a 5-star hotel or something,
Yeah.
and then or we go to YM, the
Yeah. Yeah.
shooting floor,
Yeah.
and then we have a lunch or dinner, and we all are like bring our families,
Very nice. Very nice.
and then it's like a get together kind of thing, and then sir will go from table to table, and he'll be like, "How you guys doing? Eat well," and that kind of thing. Like an evening, basically, lunch, dinner kind of
Very
thing.
nice. I I was going to say, in your next team meeting,
Yeah.
can you please say this, mention about this, saying, I was in the podcast with Chanda and then this topic got raised, and he really wants us to have this streaming platform dedicated for
Okay.
all the fans,
Okay.
which has all the albums, all the music under one roof, so that we don't have to rely on Spotify.
But always the decision is taken by sir,
No doubt.
so I'll have to tell him directly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Sir's there in the meeting though, right?
Yeah. He's there in the meeting.
Yeah. But please do mention, I'm saying this on behalf of the entire I Love ARR community. Because we guys have this discussion come up every 1 or 2 days. And we're like, oh, Australia has this, India doesn't have. And then all of a sudden, we have this. Of course, you would have experienced it as well. There would be a track, let's say Tirida Tirida. I'd have heard millions of times already, and out of the blue, I would hear a brand new sound from nowhere. And I even mentioned about that to Sir as well. He had an answer for that, and so we start discussing about that minute sound, and we tell exactly which point that sound came.
Okay. Like I was listening to Jodha Akbar because it got released on
Correct.
Apple Music recently. It wasn't there in Indian Apple
Yeah.
Music.
Yeah.
So I was listening and I was like, wow, I didn't notice this was there in this song. I never noticed this was happening.
Yeah.
You discover layers. It's
Of course. Yeah. That's it. And 2 days ago is when Dinesh Karthik, the cricketer, had come on the podcast, and he is a big Sir fan.
okay.
Big fan of Sir rather, and we were talking about the layers and the new sound that you get to hear over a period of time. And so I want to ask you, I know it's a naughty question, right? Considering that you've worked on a track, and you have the lossless format with you, can you listen to the lossless format outside of the platform, or are there any guidelines for your team saying once the track is out, that's it, but you rely on Spotify and Apple Music? That's my question.
So we have an unsaid thing. Whatever we do in the studio remains in the studio.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like an unsaid thing. And I think Sir likes us for that. I think in a way because he can
Yeah.
trust us. So
Yeah.
that's the probation thing. I think he like gauges you. I think like is he reliable or what? Because there's a lot of heavy footage like unreleased videos and all that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
should not go out of the studio like. And there are no CCTV cameras. It's just based on trust, purely
Correct.
based on trust. And what happens is just because it's based on trust, you don't feel like doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's that often I've discussed this with Suresh because there's so much trust. You don't you don't intend doing anything wrong. Like it's like that. It's in a funny way. I'm sure you would have experienced something so that when somebody trusts you a lot,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't feel like wronging them. So
Yeah.
it's
Of
like
course. Of course. Of course.
so whatever we do in the studio, we leave it in the studio. So and only sometimes when you're currently working on the project, then
Obviously.
you would take a backup on your disk, but you're very careful with it. And
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
so I double check my bag if the disk is there inside my bag, and I and I never copy footages on my disk. It's straight on my laptop because the laptop at least has a password. So if it gets lost, the laptop goes with it, and I can at least lock my laptop, and so whoever switches on it gets erased, and they will not get at least the footage.
Right.
So my footages are always on the laptop, but projects can be on the hard disk. So
Right. Right.
that kind of thing we like
Right.
take special. But it has happened sometimes, like like you've worked on a track and instead of mailing to this person, you mail it to some other person. It has happened a couple of times. And
You know
first
what?
thing I
Yeah. Save my email address. Just mail it to me.
so, but then luckily it is from the system.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all the mailing addresses are somebody who's involved in the studio in
Right.
some
Okay.
so like because we use Hightail or WeTransfer, so his account.
Yeah.
So the suggestions would be somebody you have already
Yeah.
previously mailed for some work. So we would quickly mail them and like, and then make sure we tell sir like this happened. So he'll be like, okay, be careful next time. That's it.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
Um.
that those kind of mistakes happen sometimes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Uh. But yeah, I know we have touched on various topics. Uh, is there a project or something that you'd like to talk about that you're currently working on? Not Sir's one, but your own
Okay.
one.
So I'm just working on an Oriya film.
Yeah.
So how I met them is connected to Sir. So I think 2014 Sir got the Project Everest TV
Yeah.
series,
Yeah.
directed by Ashutosh Gowarikar sir.
Yeah.
So Sir couldn't do it because he had a lot of work. So he said my students are there, they can do it.
Yeah.
So he handed me the project,
Very nice.
and then and this director Ashutosh Gowarikar sir is coming back to Sir after Jodha Akbar. So I
Oh,
was like,
wow.
wow. So this is 2014. So I was like, wow, he's entrusting me with such a big director. So then I had to go 6 months to Bombay
Yeah.
because the director wanted to work with me. So he would come. So I stayed. He gave me a room in his office, in his
Yeah.
production house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I took my whole setup there, and Sir gave some scratches on the piano, and I
Yeah.
had to develop it. And then he said, the rest you do. It's like you have to compose.
Oh,
So he
wow.
started a thing called Kutube Kripa.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Where, so that was the first time he started Kutube Kripa. That was
Wow.
the first project. So then giving chance to former students and giving them exposure. So the music supervisor Arpita Gandhi,
Yeah.
she's also from KM.
Yeah.
So he made her like intern for music supervision.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then so there were 102 episodes.
Wow.
So it was a lot of load. So he said you can call one more KM student and involve. So there was Harshvardhan Gadvi. He's a guitarist. He's based in Bombay. So we roped him in, and then he couldn't join for that long because I was there for 6 months. So he was there for a month and then he left. So it was a very good experience. So the director that I'm working with now,
Yeah.
was an assistant film editor
Oh, wow.
for Everest.
Wow. Okay.
So I
Wow.
made friends with the whole team because I was on the first floor, they
Yeah.
were on the ground floor.
Yeah.
So it was happening parallelly. They would send me the footages, I'd score, and and they were all because they used to work 9 to 5,
Mm.
9 to 6, and
Yeah.
they would leave the office.
Yeah.
But I would come in after lunch and stay till morning 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and it was just the watchman and me in the whole building.
Nice.
So Ashutosh sir was like, "Okay, I understand you come from Raman sir's place, so he gave me the freedom. He left the office open for me so that I could work and finish. So that was very sweet of him. So that's when I met this director. He ended up making films.
Yeah.
So during the lockdown, he was doing an Oriya film, and then so after all these years, came in touch with me and he like, let's do this together. And
Nice.
then I did, and he loved it. So
Nice.
then we did. After this is the third film I'm working with him now.
Beautiful. Amazing, man.
So he's a good director. He's won awards and all that at film festivals.
Very nice.
So that's the project I'm currently working on.
Wow. And this is aside from what you're working with, sir, as well, right?
Yes, yes.
How do you manage the time? So, because you're there most of the time in the studio and you come back home for that 5 hours of sleep or less. And when do you get time for this?
So I gauge what kind of if it is very intense at that time it's I don't take up too many
Right.
projects.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If it is little relaxed, like because last year was little relaxed because of the lockdown, I could take on more projects.
Got it.
And then say this is getting intense for me, then I would just mail sir saying that sir I'm stuck with this. Then be like okay finish and let me know and come back and
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Is just informing him beforehand. That's the key.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, buddy, look, I've had you here for longer than an hour. I'm sorry, but the discussions were so very interesting, and I definitely wanted to touch on so many aspects. Is there something that you want to talk about that we may not have spoken?
I think how patient sir is with everybody when you make a mistake. He's very patient and he's very forgiving. That's
Yeah,
something very, very remarkable. Like you would have made a mistake that is like super big, like something like that, and but then he might be upset about it for a week or something, but then after a week it's like as if it never he behaves as if it never happens. It never happened.
yeah,
He just like lets you forgives you and like moves on with it, which I think is remarkable. And never that comes up, like as a spot.
yeah, yeah. It's
It doesn't affect.
it's
Yeah,
gone.
it's like a clean slate.
Wow,
But
amazing.
then if you screw up consistently, then it's a different thing. Yeah. So I've noticed that he's like that with everybody. So I think that's a great trait, I think.
Amazing,
So
amazing.
when that happens, you're like inspired to like do better or improve.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. So it's a
Sir,
silent way of doing it. It's not like,
correct.
like, so
Yeah.
I think that's something I wanted to like say.
Of course, I mean, like, with the interactions that I've had with Sir, which I feel, I mean, again, I feel very blessed for that as well. And he always sees the positive in everything. He always
Yeah.
sees the positive, and then because I remember every time I've spoken to him, there is something that he says, and it's very deep, and it registers in my mind. And he said something in the last meeting as well, where he said, when you're passionate, you don't have to work hard. So he says
Correct.
things like this.
Correct.
I know you would have experienced it too on a
Yeah.
daily basis.
And also, I've noticed how when somebody new joins the studio, they might know nothing,
Yeah,
but then he always believes that they can always learn and become something.
correct, correct.
Like I think, like if you would hire somebody, you would judge them on interview, competency, everything. It's
Yeah,
nothing like that. It's just the willingness and the attitude.
correct. Willing
And
to learn.
yeah, and I've often remarked like somebody I thought doesn't know anything when they join,
Yeah,
they've gone on to be remarkable. They've learned very fast and they've like contributed immensely to projects.
Amazing.
and to the whole team.
Amazing.
So that judgment, like perhaps this person has a potential, and I feel he only involves people who perhaps can do something, and
Yeah.
there's no hope, no scope kind of thing,
Mhm.
not that kind of thing.
Sir can see through people. That's what I've
Yeah, yeah,
always felt. Is that, and that's what is pretty much is the assurance that he wants. Okay, this guy has the willingness to learn, and he's
correct,
passionate about what he does, and that is probably the only quality he looks at. To be honest, I think.
correct, correct.
And because he talks about passion and stuff like that so very often, and then it's always very inspiring to hear Sir speak.
I know when I joined newly, like there'll be a lot of people telling a lot of things.
Yeah,
Just block it out
yeah,
and just do what you need to do.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
buddy, and the thing is, two things I want to ask you before we wrap up this podcast.
sure.
I know we have gone uh, pretty in depth on a number of things, but I'm sure it's going to be so very worthwhile for people who are going to watch it, especially from the I Love ARR community and all of the Sirs fans. They're going to love it to hear from someone like yourself who has worked with Sir for 10 years, who's been behind the scenes for a number of projects, and the songs that we guys sitting on the other side of the world have the luxury to just listen, and you guys work hard to create that sound. um, One thing that I want to ask you is, you get to work with Sir on a daily basis, no doubt about that, and you obviously have the luxury of telling him things directly in person. But here we are in the I Love ARR podcast, and we are creating a memory. And is there a message, or is there anything that you would like to tell Sir via this podcast? And we all know Sir may not have the time to watch it, but even if he does, he will watch it in fast forward mode. So, but I would like to hear if there's anything that you would like to convey to Sir via this podcast. If
I
there's
think
any,
I'm really, really grateful for him to start KM Music Conservatory
yeah,
because not only me, but a lot of students like me who joined KM,
yeah,
he's given them a direction and a purpose in music.
mm,
Because if KM wasn't there, I think getting work through music would have been so much more harder
mm,
in an environment like India.
mm,
But just because of KM, like not only me, but seeing a lot of the students coming out now, the
mm,
confidence that they come out with,
mm,
they're getting work because of that, and the quality of education there, they're
yeah,
getting work because of it.
yeah, indeed,
So it's just not like you study music and you're like left blank about your future.
yeah, yeah,
You have a sense of direction and you're not left hopeless. And you can take music as a career
amazing,
just because he started KM, and I'm very grateful because of that.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
And finally, again, this I Love ARR community, there are many uh, fans and members and aspirational musicians. Is there anything that you would like to convey to them, as a message, or as a suggestion, or could be anything?
I realized Sir likes to pick this. I'm seeing from musicians who are not like dying to work for him or something like that, but it's more like they're more focused on their art more
Yeah,
than trying to work for him.
yeah,
So I would suggest try and just focus on your art.
mm,
And then if you want to work with Sir, like I wanted to work in college very badly, it'll naturally take its course and it'll happen. You just need to work on your art. And Sir is a kind of person, he's accessible.
yeah,
He's not like, even if you send him a mail, he will, at least, even if you're not known to him, he will respond. He's that kind of a person. And if he notices some potential, he might reply. So if you
yeah.
focus on your art, so just, I think
Yeah,
that
what you
should be
just
enough.
said is, it aligns with what Sir said very recently as well. He said, uh, "You go deep, and the universe will find you. Right? I think
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
probably is exactly what you said as well. So if you're passionate and you love what you do,
Yeah.
it will find you, right? So sir will come
Yeah.
and find you. He'll
Like,
somehow find you. If that's
like
what,
he found me in that auditorium randomly
and that it,
because
yeah,
yeah, because when I was in Pondi, I really wanted to work with sir because I was a big fan,
yeah,
but then I didn't know how to get to him. And then KM also was not my priority. I was like, okay, fine, I'll do KM. But then I was just in. I think I was just focused on my art,
mm,
and then I didn't. I when I joined KM, I didn't have like the hope of working with sir
yeah,
because no students was working with him until then.
yeah,
So, but then after a year, it just happened. Like he called me and
yeah.
out of the blue, I just went for a concert and he was like,
Beautiful.
so I think it'll happen like
Nice,
this.
nice.
Yeah.
Great. Jerry, it's been amazing to have you on the podcast, man. We went deep dive into almost everything, and you shared so many things that's been so very interesting to hear. And it, as you described it, I felt like I was in Panchtan and being part of your team, interacting with you all. I really
Thanks a
wish
lot for having me.
I really wish to come there and spend a few days, just do nothing, but just want to hang around. That's it.
You've come to Chennai and
Yeah,
visited the tree.
I
I'm
have,
curious. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have,
Okay.
but I want to spend a day or two there
Okay. Okay.
and just do nothing but just walk around. Just I like the vibe there.
Okay. Yeah.
So and yeah, so buddy, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on this.
No, I mean it's been amazing. I loved it, and I'm pretty sure everyone's going to love these conversations when they get to watch it. I'm